Welcome back to the podcast. It is
Hey,
me.
everybody.
It is me. He is he, and we are we.
Yep.
It's been a while. We're a little behind, but that's because you went through a hurricane and I went through some computer problems. So we had to put a little pause on the episode.
Yeah.
So, but we do have some things to talk about, and there's going to be some things that are slightly outdated. There's one thing I wanted to discuss regarding the Maui fires. And then I've got a couple of things I want to talk about regarding Twitter and my computer, what happened to my computer, because it may be beneficial to hear for those who also have computer issues. And then you've got a couple things to talk about.
Now, it's funny. You talk about the Maui fires. I called my friend who lives in Honolulu,
Mm-hmm.
and he said it didn't affect him. And then he texts me and he says he's going to the mainland because they may be hit by a hurricane.
Interesting.
Yeah. I haven't gotten back to him yet. I guess I will have to. I've been so busy here. We're in between hurricanes.
Yeah. Yeah, you in between. You got the hurricane, then you got the aftershock.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to talk about, the hurricane.
Yeah, well, we can get into that in a little bit. The thing I wanted to
Yeah.
discuss about specifically the Maui fires is I believe it's specific parts of um I believe it's specific, like the state or some particular government figure within Hawaii is suing and having, I believe, the FBI investigate the Maui Electric Company because they are the reason for the fire. Not the hurricane, obviously, but the fire. Normally, to my knowledge, I didn't know about this till I read an article about it. Whenever there's a hurricane that's going to come at places like Florida or Hawaii or some island or some place where it's going to be damaging, the electric companies will preemptively shut off electricity a day or so before. Some companies do it 2 days, 3 days before, but most of the time it's like a day before. And it's to prevent, when the storm hits, having electrical fires, because those are dangerous. Maui Electrical Company didn't turn off the electricity, and it started multiple fires, and it is directly a cause to the fires. Not like, there were fires over here and it just so happened it is directly caused. You can follow the source back. So the FBI, excuse me, the FBI and some form of state government head is looking into it and suing the company because that company, for whatever reason, decided not to turn the electric off and caused hundreds, if not thousands, of lives to be upended and ruined over this. So yeah, that's the little tidbit I've got about the Maui fires specifically. The thing I wanted to get into real quick about why I was having computer issues. So my computer's relatively new, probably within the past 3 years. It runs Windows 11. Windows 11 is, oh, go ahead.
You need more light.
No, I'm okay. It's the camera. It auto adjusts,
Oh,
and because I'm wearing a white shirt,
okay.
it's gonna bounce sometimes and make it look a little lighter. There's not a ton I can do about it.
Okay.
But Windows 11 is an operating software or operating system. Every computer has an operating system. Mac computers have their special ones. They used to call them like Snow Leopard and Apple or Snow Leopard and Jaguar and all these different cool names. Microsoft just has Windows 11, 10, Vista, 7, whatever. And what an operating system is, software is it is what allows you to use your computer the way it is without having to like code like people who use Linux. So being able to have the little Windows button at the bottom corner of your laptops, you can click it and go through your settings and your menus. That's your operating system. That takes up certain memory and storage, and so that you can navigate your computer in a way that is user friendly and not requiring a coding degree to use the computer. Microsoft is notorious for releasing their operating softwares or operating systems too early. And they do that because one, major greedy corporations will continue to be majorly greedy. And two, they are using people's problems to further help their software. Rather than have people test it and pay, they'd rather make money and then have people complain so that they can fix it for free, rather than having to pay people to figure out all the problems and kinks of it over a year or two. They just release it 2 years early, 3 years early. And when all the complaints come flooding in and people are paying Geek Squad and Best Buy and Genius Bars to fix their computers, all of those complaints finally reach up top, and then they come out with updates. So similarly, something similar happened to my computer. And let me preface, if you are ever buying a laptop, realistically, if there's an operating software that's new within the first 3 years, you should probably try not to get it. It should be at least 4 years old or so. Maybe do some research on it, because of what I had just said. There's a lot of bugs and a lot of problems, and it can incapacitate your computer over basic things. So recently, I have started streaming and I'm playing games and making content online. I started doing this probably beginning of the summer. And since then, my computer has become harder and harder to manage. And I consider myself on the mid tier of people when it comes to tech savviness. I'm nowhere near like real tech security people or tech engineers or anything like that. But I do consider myself above more than what a lot of people do, and the awareness that a lot of people may have in terms of cybersecurity or how to manage your files and keep your laptop clean and up to date. I'm very much a stickler for the cleanliness and keeping it up to date. So I update my computer as often as it needs. Problem is, it was getting slower and slower and slower and slower. And a game that I would play on my computer 3-4 months ago, all of a sudden stopped working. Recently, as of last Thursday, I wanted to do things. I was going to stream on Friday. I was having some problems and I was like, oh, whatever. Maybe my computer just needs to update. Saw an update, updated it, went to bed. Friday, I go to stream. There's a special event going on. A game is having an event, and there's some people that I wanted to stream their gameplay of and talk about. My computer froze when I tried to open the camera app. The camera, the thing that your laptop comes pre-built with, and the software that is preloaded onto the computer that's supposed to cost nothing in terms of computing power. I tried it 4 times, and 4 times it would freeze to the point where I had to turn my computer all the way off. Take it to Best Buy. They do a diagnostic. They call me and they say, hey, yeah, it looks like it's your operating software, and we are going to have to revert it back to Windows 10. I said, yes, please do that. The reason why they have to revert it back to Windows 10 is because of bugs, like I explained prior. And what happens is your computer, no matter how new or how old, can sometimes just not be compatible with the software that's in hand. And what ends up happening is The software is trying to be as efficient as possible, using the least amount of GPU, CPU, and all the compartments in your computer. But if it's not compatible, your computer is actually working twice as hard to follow the commands of this software. So you end up with what's called leakage. And so in a computer, you have a processor or a CPU and a GPU. That's for graphics and so forth. And there's other things as well, but I'm going to use these as specific things. Your CPU is, and your RAM, right? You have, or your GPU and your RAM. Okay. But you have RAM as well, which is memory, short-term memory. And your RAM is used for when you have multiple tabs open and your computer's trying to remember that you have this tab open, this tab open, this tab open, and you have a Windows bar open at the bottom for your files. To have all of that open in your computer, remember it for the short time that it's open until you close it, you need RAM. Simple things like that should take up 0.5% to 1% of your total RAM on your computer. With these inconsistencies and these incompatibility issues with the system and computers like mine, softwares and systems that would normally take up 1, 2, even 10% of my RAM or my CPU were taking 60, 70, and 80%. So at one point, I opened a Google Chrome to Google one thing. 50% of my CPU was being used to open Chrome. You should not be having to use 50 to 60% of your CPU for Chrome. It should be maximum like 5%.
So what did you do? You rebooted your computer?
I had to go to Best Buy and have the tech guy revert my operating system to Windows 10 because he had said Windows 10 is guaranteed to work. Yes. And
so that's a reboot.
It's a reboot in the sense of he's sort of turning the dial back because most computers, not most, but a lot of computers get, when you buy them, like today, if you were to go into Best Buy and buy a computer, probably comes preloaded with Windows 11, and it may not be beneficial to you. But I took a lot of other precautions, and I knew I did all these other steps to figure out and come to the solution that it was my operating system. Like there's so many other things that you need to check first that a lot of people don't check. Softwares that are running in the background, and is your computer up to date, and 5 and 6 other things. But there are rare cases like mine where this happens. And it was infuriating because why is this product out? Why is this product out if it is so damaging to softwares and computers? But
Peter, so what were you at? Windows what when you did that?
I was at the newest form, Windows 11. And right now I'm now at Windows 10. Windows 10 is currently the most reliable and arguably the better operating system right now because it has the least amount of flaws and is the most compatible with every game, software, website, and everything out in the world right now. Windows 11 is only about 2 to 3 years old, so it's still pretty new and still has a lot of kinks and grooves that need to be smoothed out.
What happened to all the material that you stored while using Windows 11, and if you reverted back to Windows 10?
So that's the fun thing, and that's what I mean by I'm very much a stickler. I keep most of my stuff on a hard drive. This right here, if you're not watching, I'm holding up an external hard drive. You have these in your computer, but I keep one separately because I am media boy and I went to college for media, so we were told we need an external hard drive, and I'm forever grateful that I have one. Now, if this hard drive ever blows, I lose everything. That's just the nature of the beast, right? I can always get another one, but if that one goes, I'm screwed. So nonetheless, I was very much a stickler for having little to nothing on my computer. The only things that I kept on my computer were absolutely necessary. So softwares and games that physically need to be on my computer, like Blender or Steam or DaVinci Resolve, which are editing softwares and 3D modeling softwares, those go on my computer. Occasional pictures that I want to change my laptop background to, or small files like a resume or a portfolio, link to my portfolio or a cover letter. Most of that is on Google Docs, but occasionally it might be on my downloads file. So 99% of my computer is just programs. My files are either digital through cloud service like Google Drive or Google Docs, or physical in a hard drive. So when it was time for them to be like, hey, do you have anything you want us to back up or save? I was like, no, you're good. You can wipe the whole computer. If you can, please re-download some of these softwares like Blender and DaVinci and so forth, which was very kind of them because they did. Because sometimes they can't always get to it because they're very busy, but they did. They got a lot of my softwares down, which was really good. So yeah, I would say going forward, highly recommend, if you are having problems with your computer on basic things, that is a possibility that can be occurring. Now, if your computer's 5 years old and you're having these issues, there may be some other stuff going on. I had this issue because my computer's relatively new, and I know that I keep it very clean and up to date and so forth. So nonetheless, it was a very aggravating time this weekend but they were all, Best Buy was also very fast. Gave it to them on Friday. They ran a diagnostic and called me Saturday. I came in on Saturday and was like, yeah, okay, run it back. Let's fix it. By Sunday, it was good, and I picked it up. So
Good.
They did a really good job, and it's doing so much better. Everything about it is doing so much better. It's so nice. So
if anybody's having a problem, they can contact you via this podcast, right?
yeah. If you're having a problem, you can contact me via this podcast or some other form of social media, and I can help you run through. I can help run through all the steps of, oh, did you check this? Did you check this? Did you check this? Did you check this? And how old's your computer? Because if your computer is 5 to 7 years old, it's probably the age.
Okay.
So that's the story and the plight of that computer, and why that sucks. Oh, and also, sidebar, super quick, partially related. There's a game called Fortnite. A lot of people know it. You probably know it, but in case you haven't heard of it, it's what's called a MOBA, a multiplayer online battle arena. And it's a very popular game. It's been very popular for many years. I started playing it on my computer and realized I couldn't play it any longer for whatever reason, and it had to have been one of the updates. Thought it was my computer having its having a shit fit and crap in the bed and not being able to work, and that was part of the reason. Tried to play it on Sunday, realized that the software is also leaking. The game itself is leaking for PC players, and it eats up your RAM because there's something going on with their game, some file that's causing to consume your computer's RAM. And it's a similar situation to what I explained, but it's on the company's side. And so, yeah, really interesting, because it shows even with major companies like Fortnite, who makes billions of dollars, they're still making very small and easy mistakes. I say easy because this is something that should, whether they can find it or not, making it hard. Finding it may be difficult, but this is an easy mistake that feels like it should be resolved quickly. That hasn't been. It's been apparently a year where this has been going on. So there's that. Last thing I wanted to talk about was Twitter and how I continue to hate Twitter. They recently, past couple of weeks, I think it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, Elon enacted the ability to make money on Twitter based off of views, the same way that YouTubers can. right? So if you on YouTube, if you meet a certain criteria, you have a certain amount of subscribers and you get a certain amount of views, you can get a partnership program and they will pay you and you can put advertisements and so forth. Twitter just tried to do the same thing. They tried to do like a trickle down economics bullshit thing that's going on where they pay you for your views. Money's not good at all. YouTuber content creator KSI talks about how he makes like 15 million views a day or something, or a week, something like that. 15 million views at a certain period. I think it's a week. 15 million views a week, and he gets paid $1,000. $1,000. Now, $1,000 a week for just posting your opinions online for 15 million views is fucking nice. That's real nice. But I think there was a lot of people who were hoping to be able to make a career and a living off of it, the same way that people make a career and living off of YouTube or streaming or other platforms. The reason why I don't like it, one, not a huge fan of Elon Musk. I think, yeah, my views on Elon Musk are quite stiff, in terms of in this current time, because I believe early on in this podcast, like in the first couple of episodes, we might have talked about him, and I had fun because I liked his idea of a flamethrower. But now that I know more about him, I don't like him at all.
Yeah, I remember.
But
But you
basically,
don't like it. You don't like anybody that makes a lot of money is super rich.
well, that's because they're inherently bad. So you can't
Okay.
have $1 billion and be the only person, knowledge me, right? I'm not going to say every single person because I don't know and I haven't researched every single person. The only billionaire that I can actually and actively say seems like a good person is the owner of Patagonia, because he made like $1 billion, or I think he hit his $1 billion mark, and he went, great, I'm done. His entire salary, hundreds of millions of dollars, goes directly back into the company, to its workers, and to saving the environment. He made his $1 billion and said, great, I'm done. I've made more money than God. My salary, because I still own Patagonia and it is still a very successful company, all that money will 100%, 100 be reinvested into the company and the environment.
So you attribute
that's a
money.
great person. That's a great person.
So you attribute big money to evil, right?
I contribute the idea of a billionaire being the fact that people who make $1 billion did not work hard enough to make $1 billion. Someone got shafted in that line of work. There's some retail worker, there's some manager, there's some other person who's getting paid $8, $10, $12 an hour, while that CEO is making $500 million a year when they don't need to be. Truly don't need to be. I don't care if you own the company. I promise you, the guy who's making $50,000, $60,000 a year for your company is working harder for you than some of these chair members who sit and make a couple of decisions. I don't care how crucial the decisions are.
Yeah, the way I agree with you, I agree that there should be more intense profit sharing.
Because I'm not with the incentive of everyone should be making the same price. Absolutely not. Yeah. There's a different standards for different people. No reason a McDonald's worker should be making the same money as a doctor. Absolutely not. There are prices for things. But when you have CEOs and you have owners and you have these major top guys like Bob Iger, hundreds of millions of dollars a year, but then somehow they're cutting costs by taking money away from the local and the very bottom of the barrel workers. How are you making record profits and the main top 10 guys in the company are making hundreds of millions a year, but you're going to cut the wages of the bottom people, the ones who are quote unquote the pillars of this company, the ones who uphold the company.
Okay, I agree on that aspect.
That's what I'm getting.
Don't shift Mickey, right?
No, me. Don't shaft Mickey's the Mickey Mouse Club. That's what it is. Mickey is the
Yeah,
one shafting the Mouse Club, Mouseketeers.
yeah.
My
Okay.
God,
So,
that's the core and crux of it, and why I'm not
okay.
a fan of billionaires as a whole, because the idea of $1 billion is not possible by one person. It has to be done by a group of people, and if they're not sharing in that into some degree, then they're getting shafted and saying, "Oh, well, they're making $60,000 a year. They're sharing in it." No, 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 no. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the billion that he currently has.
Okay.
Why is that there? Why you're telling me that he can't make like 10 mil a year, 100 mil a year, and the other 900 million or the other 500 billion that Amazon makes?
I can't get into this with you because we're going to have a 3-hour podcast,
I know,
Peter.
I know. So, anyways, we'll revert back to the point I was getting at, which is Elon Musk continuing to fuck over Twitter. Uh Paying people. Great. Yay, money. 15 million views, $1,000 a week for 15 million views. That's absolute garbage numbers. The money that he's making off of that is probably 5 times, 10 times that. But the thing that I really don't like about it is the incentive to do this is purely profit and has demolished what ecosystem was left on Twitter, right? Twitter in itself is just a wasteland for people to bitch and moan and get angry at each other and start fights. It's not a positive place. Anyone who actively uses Twitter knows it's not a positive place. This new trickle down economics that he has inspired in the system, and I'm going to explain why it's trickle down, uh is garbage, because it has, like I said, destroyed the ecosystem on the platform. In this sense, right? First, because there is no because he has no actual safeguards to stop people from posting false information or lies or just inappropriate things that shouldn't be on the platform. People are now posting anything and everything to get views. So it can be the most outrageous lie and it's called bait, right? Oh, you got baited. And oh, it's a video of Kim Kardashian's new sex tape with Ryan Reynolds. And it's not. It's a video of someone an egg doing a dance, right? Like something stupid. But it's bait. And if it gets 1 million views, that person just made a couple $100. And so now Twitter is just flooded with people looking for gotcha gags, things to just grab your attention.
Yeah, I'm
And
not
then
familiar with Twitter.
what happens is, so that post, Kim K sex tape, gets 5 million views. Everyone in the comments now, I would say, because I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter, I like to go on there once in a while just to look at what's fucking there. But whenever I see a big video that has like 10, 15 million views, I like to look at the comments to see if it's still the way I'm about to explain it, which is 15 million view video, 50 to 60% of the comments is people posting other gotcha gags and articles and images and things to get you to view and like that post. And so it's trickle down economics, because what happens is that 15 million view post, if you're the first 5 people to post some stupid meme or some lie or something outrageous, like an outrageous take where someone says, "Oh, I support Kim K on this," and then everyone gets mad in the responding to you, but it gets 1 million views, you've siphoned from that 15 million, you've siphoned your million. And then again, when you look at the replies from that guy, someone else is siphoning and gets 20,000 and 30,000 views. And it creates this cycle of just looking for the profit. No one's actively participating anymore. No one's actively conversing. They're not having conversations. They're just trying to get people to, like, so they're just trying to receive the view, right? It's just blatant lying, or they're posting garbage. So if someone's posting an opinion on something and it's political, rather than responding and arguing or disagreeing or debating or whatever, it's just filled with stupid pictures and people lying and saying things purely for the sake of getting views so that they can make like $200. So it is a continuation of Elon's journey to demolish Twitter. And I really hope he does, because I'm not a fan of Twitter. I don't like Twitter. I haven't been a fan of its ecosystem and the people that thrive on that platform for a long time. So it's a good thing that he's killing it, but I'm going to be very surprised if it ever turns around to something positive, or like a net positive for Elon in terms of profit or anything of that nature, because he's doing everything he can to make money. Like, he's doing everything he can to suck dollars out of that app after he was forced.
He needs the money.
Yeah, he needs the money.
You know,
After
he has a lot of girlfriends. You got to spend money.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. After, being forced to buy Twitter, $44 billion, he's got to find a way to make the money back. And it loses whatever, like $1 million a day or something.
Hey, look, everybody does something. I went for a haircut today. My barber raised his price from $14 to $18 for a haircut. That's okay, because I thought he was undercharging. But everybody, you go into Publix, they're raising their prices. You got to give him a break.
No, that's a complete no. I know you're pushing it. You're pushing it. You really you're pushing it. No, hell no. And don't even get me started. The idea of food places raising prices is an absolute fucking sham, because they have the means to lower these prices. They're throwing food out regularly. Most of these food companies, Publix, ShopRite, Kings, any place that sells food regularly has food left over, and they don't sell it for the price that it should be sold at, because they want profits. Somehow people can't afford things. People are stealing food because they can't afford living and food and expenses for life. Somehow these food bills are still going up. And somehow these companies are claiming that they need to take money away from their shopping, from the workers at these food places, because they need the money. But yet somehow every single year they make record profits. Every single year they're record profits.
Woo! You're on a tangent. Keep going, baby.
Pissing me off. Yeah. Record-breaking profits, absolutely. I hate those words. By all means, make a profit. I'm not against profits. No one has to break even every year. But record-breaking profits every single year, actively fisting your workers? No.
Okay. I'll let you rant. I don't care.
Not a fan of it. Not a fan at all.
I'll let you keep ranting.
If everyone in the company is happy and you're making record profits, fucking amazing. Amazing. Go for it.
Okay.
Great. But
give me another okay.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Amazing. Absolutely
amazing. I love it. You're on a good rant today.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it. PC got all fucked up over the weekend. Not in the mood. All right, let's take a short break. We'll come back and we'll start your topic. Because we got to swap. We got to change film, because Zoom only allows 40 fucking minutes. Fuck Zoom.
Yeah, I'm going to be short.
Well, you are short.
I am short. That's right. And don't you forget it, I'm short.
All right, we'll be right back. Hold on. Hey, we're back. Hello. Hi, welcome. Now,
hello.
I have had some water. I'm going to have a little more. My fire has dimmed.
You sure about it?
Yes.
Should I get you started on something again?
No.
Okay.
So what I forget what you wanted to bring up.
Yeah, this has been a very exciting couple of months for me. In July, I turned 79, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. Um,
One more year on this
but
godforsaken earth.
yeah, yeah. And last week, it was an amazing and a scary week for me. I heard there was going to be a hurricane coming, Idalia. And normally, when I hear a hurricane is coming, although my house is covered with Kevlar covers and I'm 10 and a half feet off the ground, I usually will hop a plane and go to your house in New Jersey or my son's house in New Jersey. However, they kept talking about the hurricane, but they wouldn't say where it was going. And they said it would possibly hit Florida, maybe not. Well, anyway, I had a very scary and adventurous moment. Let me tell you what happened. First of all, the hurricane came at 11 o'clock in the evening. Prior to that, during the morning and early afternoon, I saw whatever friends were still around that weren't out of town hop in their cars. Bob and Paul and Peter and Yoli, they hopped in their cars and they said, Al, come with us. This is going to be a big surge of water coming in. It's too dangerous. Don't stay in the house. Stupid is as stupid does. I took a look. I said, look, I got this house pretty well covered. It's still covered now because there's an impending hurricane coming, and they're not telling us if it's coming to me or going into the Atlantic. I said, oh, thanks. Thank you. So I found out my neighbors were really friends, and that was so nice to feel. And then another couple who I only met a couple of times at gatherings, Debbie and Roger, they live a block away from me in a brick house that's 2 stories. And they kept texting me, Al, are you okay? Come stay with us. So it was nice. It was nice. This hurricane made me feel like I had some definite friends, not acquaintances, some friends. And then later in the day, I take a look, and the water is like a river going down my street. Like a river. And it's penetrating all my friends' houses are low, ground level. I'm 10 and a half feet above ground level.
As long as it doesn't penetrate your friends.
That's right. And I thought maybe it was going into their house where their sandbags were. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to where their houses were to see. I took a video, I sent it to you because, the water, I would say, was up to my knees already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I usually don't sleep very well. I'm just trying to relate experience of staying around for a hurricane. And like I said, stupid is as stupid does. It was 11 o'clock and I didn't lose power. I said, hey, how bad can this be? So this is the surge they're talking about. To the right of me is the Intercoastal, which is a body of water. To the left of me is the Gulf of Mexico. They closed the bridges down. I can't get out anyway. It's too late anymore. The airport's closed down. Did I make a good decision? I think not. And I go outside on my driveway. The water is, oh, maybe 10, 15 feet up my driveway. My driveway is about 30 feet. And I don't figure it's coming up my driveway at all into my garage, and definitely not into my house. And I didn't lose power, and I have food, and I have water to drink, and I'm watching TV, and I'm reading. And I was saying, how bad could this be? But I am stressed. And like I said, I don't normally sleep, but I went into the bed at 8 o'clock, and I could hear the wind blowing 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour against my Kevlar covering. I opened the garage door again, and I'm afraid because suppose I can't close it. And the water is getting higher and higher. And I'm 1 hour away from the high tide. So this can be a problem. I open up the door again when the high tide comes and the water is higher. I could have taken my rubber raft out and paddled down the block. I closed the garage door and I looked up in the sky and I said to my departed wife, and I'm not religious, I says, be my guardian angel, please. And at 8 o'clock, I got out of the shower, went into bed, turned on the TV, and I was so stressed out, I fell asleep till 3 o'clock in the morning. And I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, still have power. And you know, the old thing, put a penny on top of your, your cup that is frozen. And if it doesn't go down into the middle, it means you've refrigerated and defrost and you didn't lose power. It's a trick. Take a look. Penny's still on the top of the frozen cup. So I didn't lose power. And now the wind is still 70 miles an hour. I go outside. There's no water. The water disappeared. And that was 4 o'clock. I'm sorry. The water disappeared. It was 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, where did it go? And I don't know what happened. Did they open up the sewers, the drains? But it was gone. Like there was no water surge. I got put on my older sneakers. I walked half a block to the beach. Half the sand is gone. No sand. And this is a private beach that we use. And they did not want beach reformation where the government provides sand because you have to give up certain
Liberties and
certain
rights.
rights. Yeah, certain rights. And I'm taking a look. The beach is, most of it is gone. Okay, so I walk around, I walk down the street, and I can see that the sandbags were wet of my neighbors' houses, and they're calling me, and I'm calling them, telling them they could probably come home. They opened the bridges at 5:15. My friends came home, and it was great because there's nothing like watching every car prior to the hurricane leaving within an hour, and I'm staying like a real fool. So, again, like I said, I made some new friends or became friendlier. I experienced a hurricane that wasn't damaging, thank heaven. And then I turned on the news and I saw what it did to other parts of Florida, and it broke my heart. And FEMA right now is going to come in, and FEMA sucks. They're going to come in, and it'll take a year and a day for them to help the people with their housing. And the destruction is terrible. And as I'm still watching it now, because these people don't have homes and they're sending food and such to them. Matter of fact, I think I have to do that when they come around for the food collection. Now I hear we got another hurricane, Hurricane Lee. And Hurricane Lee, they don't know if it's going to come to Florida or curve away and go into the Atlantic.
Beautiful.
So, yeah. And last time, I didn't know where to go because I never stayed around. I thought I'd go to the Hard Rock, but I know in the past, the Hard Rock only accepted people who were guests there already prior to the hurricane. I was going to go like 20 miles away to another section called Palm Harbor. It's higher. But I think Palm Harbor got hit. So, you know, you go from the frying pan into the fire. I stayed in the house. I got lucky. And did I get wiser? I hope so. So anyway, I just want to say, Paul, Bob, Yoli, Peter, Debbie, Roger, thank you for your concern for me. I appreciate it. I know other people are concerned. Yesterday, I was at the beach with those people in the spot where there was beach, and we were watching the water come in calmly, and we had about 8 umbrellas. It was like a tent. And my next door neighbor, Darlene, her husband, Barry, said to me, look, if you have no place to go if a hurricane comes, you hop in my car. We're going to our other home in Georgia, and you'll be safe. So I just want to say it's great to have friends, and hopefully in the future I will make good decisions because I am 79 years of age and I should be making good decisions at my age. And I wish all the people who weren't in A zones and who were in A zones are flood zones like me, I wish them a speedy recovery. I hope FEMA provides them money for their homes. All the businesses that were destroyed, who just recovered from COVID, from COVID. Again, what was our last video about along the lines is there panic? And then this happened. Remember, Peter, our last video was on panic.
Yeah, don't panic. The world is ending.
Yeah, that we really jumped the gun.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
So anyway, one last thought. I always hop on this. One of our original podcasts was that our criminals are the people in office, Democratic and Republican officers, our politicians are nothing more than legalized criminals. And it looks like this is coming to fruition. So we have a lot of things happening in the world today. Peter's computer breaking down, which was a big tragedy.
Such a tragedy among it's so much more important than the hurricanes that are coming.
Yeah. So I hope that we gave you a little bit of information today. Just know that your neighbors are important because your neighbors can be friends. I'm finished.
That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, they seem like really wonderful people. I've only said hi to a couple of them in passing, so it'd be nice to see them.
Yeah, they are wonderful people.
So, but yeah, I mean that's about all we got for today. With that, we'll see you in the next one. Hopefully he won't be doing this on a raft shooting down the river. And I won't be doing this on my phone because my laptop has another implosion.
Yeah, what's that? Rolling.
Yeah, rolling down the river.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out. Love you guys.
Bye.